Happy birthday to Dr. King, as well as happy Founders Day to our AKAs out there in the world. Welcome to our second town hall, and I want to apologize about last week's town hall. Unfortunately, I was ill. Hey, Nursery. I was ill, and believe it or not, my son and I had COVID. So I did not have the strength to do last Friday. So I want to apologize about not having that. And it's just amazing that we have this is something we're talking about. And I'm a bit um perplexed because I'm the first person in the building that has had COVID. And guess what? Got it from my son who got it from school. So, very coincidental that we're talking about this town hall and things that we'll be doing. We do have for our panel today, Nurse Sharit and Mr. Bolton, who is over ops today. So I won't keep you long. And of course, this is designed to kind of just give you a debrief and also to offer opportunities for you to ask questions. And as we stated previously, we'll do this every Friday until we return back into the building. And we actually have 30 parents today, which is awesome. All right, so let's get started. All right, so today we're going to discuss current COVID infection rates and CDC guidance, phases for reopening, phase 2, 3, and 4, have some question and answer, and also discuss next steps with you all. So as of the 11th, as you can see, we have had for DeKalb County, we've had 642 cases, over 100,000, within 100,000 people, and for Fulton is 727. These numbers are very astounding, very scary. But again, this puts us in the red zone where we are at high spread level. They've gone up tremendously. And this is just based on January 11th. This doesn't even have the Christmas and holiday numbers in here just yet. It might be a few, but not everything. I wonder if I'm even counted in this this number. All right, so as you can see, this is the Georgia Department of Education's guidance for schools, and we are here in the red with the substantial spread with the numbers and what we're doing for, and we're following this right now actually with our scholars with being in a virtual environment. All right. So wanted to, Ms. Griffith is going to kind of look at those chat box as well if you have questions, but wanted to kind of look at some changes that we discussed with our board on Tuesday night. Originally, phase 2, we were staying in distance and remote learning, and we still are. And then phase 3, we were bringing teachers in the building the 25th through of January to February 26th. But looking at the numbers and also speaking with the Department of Health, we're going to keep teachers at home until the 19th of February. Because those numbers are still lingering. And then that will also give us an opportunity to look at teachers having the vaccine as well, and just to keep our staff and students safe. We have not changed anything with phase 4, but we are looking at this on a 14-day journey. So every 14 days, we'll look at this. We're actually going to update our staff every Wednesday of numbers and just letting them know where we are. But right now, even when we took a survey of our staff, they did not feel comfortable coming back in the building on January 25th. And remember, that was just 2 days of being in the building, and they still do not feel comfortable. And honestly, with COVID having happened to me, it makes me a little leery as well, I have done everything that I was supposed to do, wearing my mask, washing my hands till they are ashy white, whatever. And now, I had something to come up where my son brought it from school. So that makes me leery, and I understand the concerns of our parents and how they feel. All right, so here are a few things that we've done to prepare and what we're working on. So we have a new HVAC maintenance agreement, changing of the filters, working on possibly getting the structures in place that will kind of screen that virus piece and making sure the ventilation is good. Performing that quarterly filter change, the preventative maintenance schedule, and we've done some corrective action with duct work in the kitchen area as well. Again, we've done the installation of plexiglass. We will have plexiglass in every classroom for every desk for our scholars, as well as hand sanitizer dispensers in the school. They're already here in high traffic areas. We're also looking to install bottle filling stations on water fountains so students do not have to use the water fountains, and continue to flush the water systems regularly because they have not been in use. All of the restrooms around the building, we're constantly working on that, making sure that we're flushing to keep that active and clean. We are increasing the inventory of our cleaning products, hand soap, paper goods, that type of thing, and just having those mandatory cleaning protocols with our new cleaning service now. And definitely requiring our staff and faculty in their classrooms and their work area that they're keeping their offices clean. We'll have the regular custodial services coming through, but there will also be a level of cleaning that they will probably want to do. As my doctor said to me, trust your own cleaning. And so, my office is sanitized, but I'm also cleaning my office because I want to make sure that I can say that it's clean to my standards as well. All right. So with IT, we have changed the way that we're doing device repair. We are doing that by appointment only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and those appointments can be made via the school work website. No longer dropping off devices. We had someone show up at 3:30 yesterday. No, we actually leave at 3:30. So that was definitely someone that just walked in, and we want to make sure that you're making the appropriate appointments for those. Also, we want to make sure that the scholars are using their IV emails for their logins and their use of devices in the classroom. And we're also using Aristotle K-12, which is a program that ensures safety and security of the devices, and teachers can actually monitor what the students are doing. So that is definitely something that we've already started and started using. Phase 4, what we're looking at, that's when the students are able to come in the building at a hybrid level. We are going to be doing synonymous teaching. So the scholars, when they come in the building, they will actually use their laptops. We're eliminating paper for that. So any type of submission or anything like that will be done through electronically. So we can remove that whole piece with paper because, of course, we know the virus lives on paper, that type of thing. And we're also looking at installing tablets in the classrooms so that teachers will be able to address the needs of those scholars that are online for the class as well. So we call that synonymous teaching. All right, so with academics, you all will get the survey. It will come out today where you will be declaring whether you want your scholars to come in a hybrid model starting March 1st or a virtual model. That will come out today. And again, remember the scholars will be divided into two groups by the last name. The siblings will be assigned by the oldest sibling's last name, okay? Sibling preference is definitely going to be considered. Currently, our classrooms are prepped for only 10 scholars per day. 10 scholars per day. And the desks are currently 6 feet apart with sneeze guard. we want to make sure that we're trying to push that number up to 12, but we are not fully sure if that's going to work, but we definitely have it set for 10 per day. Directional arrows we placed in the hallways, definitely making sure that we don't have all the students in the restroom. We'll have notification for usage on those doors. Students will be assigned seats in the classroom. We have to do that to assist with contact tracing. And again, that whole synonymous teaching where students that are at home and in the classroom be taught at the same time. We will have digital books available, such as novels, that type of thing. But again, remember that those things will be submitted virtually. They'll be submitted online, so no paper when we come back in the building. I was telling the team the other day that school just is not going to be the way that it was. As we're working on next year's calendar, we're even looking at, we have those built-in snow days. Well, they won't count against us because children can do work online now. We've done it, we've shown that we can do it, so it won't make a difference. All right, so next steps. We have the declaration of intent for the instructional model that you all will want to do. That will come out January 15th, which is today, and it'll close on January 22nd. So that's 7 days via Infinite Campus. I'm not sure if we'll open it back up again for people to change their declaration. We want to kind of start working on that as far as with student schedules and being able to assign students when they will come back. If you do not make your declaration of intent, and if it's not done by January 22nd, we're going to automatically assume that those children will be moved to virtual learning until April 23rd. Okay. Again, our classroom capacities right now, we're just trying to make sure we have the right furniture, the right desk in the classroom, file cabinet, trying to figure out what technology we might need in those classrooms as well. Please remember to sign up for your thermometer. We send that out every newsletter with that information on there. And if you have questions about that, make sure that you email Nurse Charit. Definitely working on what does it look like for the dismissal team when we're dismissing scholars, and what does it look like for late pickups? We have a number of parents that pick up scholars late. What is that going to look like as well? Today, the teachers will get a notice about them not reporting on January 25th. That letter is already ready. I wanted to make sure that I explain that to you all as well. But again, on Wednesdays is when we'll send more information. And of course, you have this platform on Fridays to speak with me about any concerns that you might have as well. All right, so question and answer period. I think I saw quite a bit in the chat, and I'm not sure if Ms. Griffith, yes, okay. Oh, wow, so Nurse Charit Fulton went up to 807 and DeKalb went up to 711, okay.
So I have a question from Ms. Tamara Smith. Will they at least give out papers for the kids to write and do assignments on? The younger kids, I feel, need to write and practice in class.
So that is something that we are working on. We're also trying to get some more touch screen laptops for our younger babies that will be used here at the school. Not at home. Of course, we want to make sure that we are able to protect those. But right now, the information we know about paper is very porous, and the virus could possibly reside on paper. So that is something that we do know based on CDC guidelines and what we need to work with. But thank you for bringing it up out there. We have a reentry meeting this afternoon at 1:30, and I can definitely bring that to academics' attention.
I did answer Ms. Frederick's question during the chat, but if you would like to just go a little deeper in it, she asked, what happens if there are more than 10 scholars that want to attend face-to-face? How will that be determined?
Absolutely. So Ms. Fredericks, remember, we're splitting the kids in half. So in doing that, if they decide it could probably be less, everybody might not decide that they want to return. And remember, we're doing 2 groups, 2 days a week. So Wednesdays will remain this is for phase 4, will remain virtual. I'm sorry, will remain a asynchronous day on Wednesdays. But if they're in group A, they will come on possibly a Monday and Tuesday or a Thursday, Friday. But remember, it's 2 different groups. So the numbers will not be higher than 10 to 12 kids in the class on those 2 days. It will never be higher than that on those 2 days. And that's just the planning piece on us, looking at what the survey says, how we schedule students, that type of thing. We could have everybody saying that they want to come back. But remember, if we have 500 children, only 250 kids are in the building 2 days a week. So it's manageable with that hybrid option. I hope that helps.
Okay, I have Mr. Brock. Can my scholar use her own laptop in the building?
Yes, they will be able to use their own laptop, but when they're on our Wi-Fi, they'll be using the safety and security that we have in place here in the building. But for testing, when we do testing in May, they will not be able to use their personal laptop.
Ms. Walls, can you pick which days your scholar comes to the building?
When you do your intent, you can definitely make that recommendation. We're gonna try to, right now, our priority is making sure that we get our siblings together, and everybody's not gonna be happy with the days that they get. And we're gonna work, towards making sure everybody is satisfied, but I'm not gonna guarantee that because I don't know.
Ms. Charles, I'll go ahead and answer your question. Her question is, the thermometer link sends you to the app. How do we get the free thermometer? Once you sign up on the app, it will ask you where to send your free thermometer. So you just have to complete the registration through the app. I have a thermometer. Dr. Nichols has one. Nurse Cherie, Mr. Bolton, all of our office staff that are here regularly have all received our free thermometers, and we use it. I use mine daily. So it is help. It's a nice little, and it comes with a little packet that you can put in your purse too. Miss Michelle, with the child or the children who will be virtual, they have that option up until April 23rd, correct?
Absolutely. Yes, Ms. Michelle. The challenge we have, again, remember, this is extremely fluid. Like the numbers could be sky high today. But then as the vaccine comes, the anticipation with CDC is the numbers will start decreasing. Again, we're watching it on a 14-day. Technically, we might not be in school March 1st if the numbers do not speak to that. So we have to make sure that the numbers speak to that. And now that Nurse Cherie has put those numbers in the chat, I'm kind of spazzing in the back of my mind, like, wow, those numbers are high. At 800, that's high. So, we just it just depends. It's very fluid. And that's the purpose of us making sure we send something out on Wednesdays, making sure you all have the opportunity to ask us questions. Please tell other parents it's an opportunity for us to be able to have, this dialogue. And I think someone asked a question about failure.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Holt, what is the procedure if a student fails one subject? How does that affect promotion to the next grade level?
So, Ms. Holt, what is happening now, what the state superintendent is asking us to do is not focus so much on the achievement level of scholars, but the mastery level. So, normally our regular retention policy discuss right now, if a scholar fails a math or an ELA, that's grounds for retention. However, we want to make sure that we're showing compassion and compliance. Now, we will look at what the mastery level of those students are, but we do not want to send students on that are not doing what they're supposed to do. That's one thing. And I will say something that we're finding a lot of our middle school scholars, especially 7th grade, are not logging on every period. they're not logging on. We're at about 85% in middle with 7th grade. They're not logging on like they should. So that's a challenge, but we're looking to contract with a social worker service, and they'll be doing some home visits. And I saw,
Doc, there's with a additional, what if the scholar has an IEP in regards to that?
so that's a little bit different with the IEP. Your promotion and retention is based on your scholar's IEP goals. So if the scholar has not been meeting those goals, yes, it would be retention. But that's very different from a general education population. And we don't ever want to make it where our students with IEPs are not meeting or mastering. They're all held to the same standards. It's just that they learn a little bit differently. And the focus for their individual learning plan or educational plan is more focused on those goals based on their exceptionality.
All right, everybody, we'll get to your questions. Mr. Bolton would like to answer Ms. Marilyn D's question live. Will there be enough plugs for recharging devices, and what will be the trip hazard safety for the excess cords?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that question. There will certainly be enough charging. That's kind of obvious and logical question. There'll be enough charging ports and power strips to charge all of the devices. One thing that'll be a little bit different is kind of the student movement. Students will kind of be restricted from movement in an unusual fashion in an attempt to kind of keep everyone spread and safe. So like the devices will be charged overnight. So they'll be starting off with a 100% charge. If they have to charge throughout the course of the day, we'll probably institute like a charging period. But kids won't really be running around the classroom like they may have before.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bolton. Mr. Brock had an additional question. Will scholars be required to get the vaccine?
I just sent him a response. No. So we can't require scholars to get a vaccine unless that is apart from the Department of Health, them saying that they would have to have that. We couldn't require them to do that. And that is absolutely a parent choice, not a school choice. So we can't require them to do that. Now, is my child going to be required to have one? Absolutely. Absolutely. That experience is something that I don't ever want to experience again, nor do I want to feel as helpless as I did with my son having COVID at the same time as I did.
Would you like to answer Ms. Neely's question live as well?
I think I did. I sent her an answer. Did you receive that, Dr. Neely?
It was a private answer for the rest of the.
Okay.
What time will scholars need to report to school by in the morning? Will there be a grace time? Thinking about drop-off protocols at siblings at other schools.
Right. We are actually working on that now. What we've decided, if children are tardy, we cannot allow them to come in the building. And especially if it's on a day that they're supposed to be in school, if it's a hybrid time, because we won't have the personnel to be able to check temperatures, that type of thing. So it's going to be very important that they do that, as well as the good thing about this is they can get on virtually. They can still get on virtually, won't be marked absent. They'll still be able to do that. Someone asked, will teachers be required to get vaccines? We can't require them to do that either. Again, that's a personal choice of staff if they want to do that. Some school districts are making it available at certain sites within the district. Some of the larger districts, I know that Fulton County is setting it up, and I think Atlanta is doing something as well. So, that's a personal preference. I'm sure we'll have some type of partnership agreement where if teachers want to get vaccines, they could possibly go to the Grady Health Center down the walkway.
Dr. Boring, are all after-school clubs canceled this year?
No. We still have clubs. We have coding, Spanish, the art club, the book club. The Thespian Society is still functioning. Was there a
Those are
particular?
all included in our newsletter.
Mhm.
Shows that we do have clubs open and when they meet. So we're even though we're not in person, we're still trying to have our scholars enjoy some after school activities. And we also have our partnership with After School All Stars.
We do not have any sports activities right now. That's the only thing that we don't have, because it requires us to meet in person. Someone asked about masks being required. Yes, staff and scholars are required. That's now a part of our uniform policy. The board did approve. We will not have before care. We did talk about that at the last meeting. When students come back in March, we won't have before care. I just told Ms. Griffith today to make sure that I set up a meeting with the YMCA. They are about to open some more spots for us. So as soon as I have that meeting and I know more, we'll get that information out to you about more spaces at the YMCA if you need childcare.
Ms. Wright, you will be contacted when your thermometer is delivered so that you can come and pick it up.
All right. Any other questions?
Will scholars still be required to wear full uniforms on their hybrid day, or can they continue to wear just the shirts?
They'll wear their full uniforms. So what we are going to change up is on Mondays, the professional wear. So they won't have to wear professional wear on Mondays. They'll have to wear the polo and the khaki pants. The professional wear would not be required this year unless there is a outside ceremony or a ceremony such as Awards Day or something like that. And if that's virtual, they would have to wear that. But no, they won't be required to wear that unless we have some formal ceremonies. Now, for next year, yes, but we will provide some leniency with that.
I do want to just make a statement. I did send it out through Dojo earlier this week. If you are a parent and you have an Ivy issue device and your scholar is currently not using it, meaning it's not working, you haven't had the opportunity to bring it up to the school so that we can look at it, or you have just purchased your scholar a device of their own at home, we are asking that you please return the device to the school. All Ivy issue devices either need to be actively used or returned to the school. And if you would like, I can go ahead and put the link in the chat so you can schedule an appointment, but it is available on our website as well as in our newsletters.
We have scholars that need devices. So we're definitely trying to make sure that we can provide those for the scholars and making sure that everyone's taking care of their devices as well. And let me say this too, I don't ever want to scare people about, this virus, but I do want us to be extremely aware that it is real. And I've experienced this firsthand along with my son. So making sure that we're practicing just safe measures and being very careful, washing our hands, talking with your child about wearing a mask. I can almost guarantee you at the age of 16, my son caught this virus because he wore his mask under his nose. I can almost guarantee that that is what happened at school. And I've taught to him, stop wearing that mask under your nose, wear it over your nose. That is how the virus enters your body. It's through the nose and it resides in the nose. So when you think about that, just start talking with your scholars about that. We want to make sure that we return safely and that they're very well educated about that as well. So keep talking to them and about that hand washing. And as I told my son, if you want to go back to school, you wear your mask correctly. So, all right. Someone asked about the Inspire ED.
I'm grabbing the number now.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Please be careful.
Thomas, I pressed the wrong button. It's 833-615-1065.
All right. Any other questions? I wish I could see you all smiling faces, but it is our webinar. Please make sure that you're checking out the different activities that we have for parents. We just had a financial literacy workshop last night. Very good information. In those coffee and conversations, we're talking a lot about parenting through a pandemic. And they are on Wednesday. So please make sure that you're checking the Ivy Vine. That's very important. And also you've completed your reentry returns. Again, remember that the reentry email will go out to parents today. And also re-enrollment, make sure you're re-enrolling. That deadline has been extended, if I'm not mistaken, and that came out also in the Ivy Vine. You'll learn a lot about that, about the school and things needed in the Ivy Vine. If you just make sure that you read that. And also, next Thursday is our Rock with Dot series. We'll actually be talking with my sister about the arts. So that's next Thursday. So please join us for that. Someone asked,
Nurse Cherie would like to make a comment as well when you're done.
Okay, go ahead, Nurse. I'm gonna respond to this email, this message.
Good afternoon, parents. So we have a number of students that has been getting diagnosed with COVID. So I'm asking that everybody would send me an email and not send the teacher email. We're trying to keep it confidential, who's contracting COVID. So if anybody have, whether you're getting a COVID test or if your child has contracted the virus, if you could just email to nurse@ivyprepacademy.org. And I also usually make a phone call out to parents during their quarantine time just to make sure everything is okay and if they have any questions for me.
All right. Any other questions for us? I'm so excited. We have more parents on today. So if you have any questions, let us know. Thank you for coming today. Again, this is every Friday, 12 o'clock. Provide you as much details as we can. I'm just kind of updating you on what we're doing and watching those numbers, those 14-day numbers. Continue to just be very vigilant in washing your hands, wearing your mask, talk to your scholars. Remember, my son Caleb with that mask under his nose, it'll sneak in on you. Christmas Day. Okay.
Ms. Michelle, I have one more question. Will a waiver need to be signed for returning students?
A waiver, you mean for, I guess, give me a little bit more detail, Ms. Michelle.
I think it's if they catch it while they're here at school. We're not liable for, if they catch COVID while in school, the school is not liable.
I'll have to do some research on that. I haven't heard of any other schools signing that unless you know something I don't know. I'll do some research on that and find out for you, Miss Michelle. Tell Paige I said hello too.
Also, just a reminder, the building is closed every Wednesday while we're virtual learning. We do have new office hours, and that is also included in our newsletter.
And please, if you do not know about the clubs, make sure you check out the newsletter. There aren't any that are canceled. I actually have been going to the Monday coding classes. I'm learning how to do that at 3 o'clock. So please let us know if you have any questions or anything like that. We have some scholars that'll be competing next week with Sphero balls with 100 Girls of Code. We actually just purchased their balls, so we're excited about them doing that. So if you have questions about that, Miss Jones is the actual contact for that, Tiffany Jones. Shoot her an email. It's an amazing club. All right, it's 12:35. Hope everyone is well. Have a great weekend. Remember, we're not in school on Monday. So please enjoy and celebrate, you know, a day of service, even if you don't do it in person, just something virtually.
And inauguration day is on Wednesday, if
Yes.
you can join.
Inauguration is Wednesday, and scholars will actually, some scholars will have assignments around the inauguration Wednesday too. Okay. All right. Have a great one. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Oh, good job, Doc. Let me.
Hey, we still got parents on.
Oh, we do. Let me stop this. Do you want
Sharing. Mm-hmm.
to?